everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I am Bobby Puckett, the Community Programs Manager at AFW2. Community programs, we're always looking for great opportunities, organizations, resources, and events in your area so that we can keep you guys active across the country and get you guys engaged. If you're not already, I encourage you to follow AFW2 Community Programs Facebook page, as well as the main AFW2 Facebook page. A lot of the events we share on the community programs calendar, so you can always follow that and keep your eye out for our newsletters coming out usually around the first of each quarter. Today we're joined by Carrie Serrata and Dare2Tri. They are with Dare2Tri. We're going to show a really quick video real quick of what Dare2Tri is all about, and then we'll come back and we'll ask them a little bit more about the organization.
I call myself a frustrated athlete because I spent 30 years so badly wanting to participate in sports.
I had no idea that I would get to a place where I meet these people who can literally change my life.
Had I had known about an organization like this, I would not have laid up in my bed for years.
Knowing Dare2Tri, knowing the community they built and the presence they have here in the multi-sport world, they are definitely proving a lot of individuals wrong. Anybody with any disability whatsoever, physical, mental, what have you, they're still able to conquer triathlon. That transcends so many of us individually.
You're not the same person after you finish a race because you've just done something that you didn't do before.
We can help people get to where they want to be. I think it's really cool because we take the time to figure out what everybody wants, because it's not a one-size-fits-all program and it's not a one-size-fits-all sport. I couldn't do what I do without people willing to basically give me their eyes. I can't swim, bike, and run safely by myself. Everybody thinks that it's so cool to see me out on the course and that whole adversity is being overcome and it's right there and it's in your face. But for me, the people that I've met through them being my guides, they're some of my best friends and they're people that I trust with my life.
I think that it helps not only the participant, but it also has a wonderful effect on the volunteers.
I was paired with one individual and it was amazing watching him be able to get through stuff that he might have never been able to do.
Yesterday I was guiding someone who hadn't ridden a bike for 40 years because he lost his vision. And to be a part of that was just huge. It was moving.
Dare2Tri creates that kind of experience for the athlete and also for the volunteer. It creates a lot of awareness.
The volunteers that support you are amazing. I don't know where they find these people, but they are amazing. I mean, it makes it into one big, huge community.
I haven't had this kind of support and people who have lifted my confidence like this in my life.
I had no idea that I would get to a place where I meet these people who can literally change my life, whether that means supporting me through this kind of new endeavor or what's happening now, which is making me a prosthetic that's beyond expectation and can literally get me to a place where I could run, something that I've never done before.
It just is unfortunate that sometimes it's more difficult to get the resources needed. Equipment is expensive. I couldn't do what I do without tandems and tethers and other humans. It's logistically difficult. So when I have an organization like Dare2Tri that can remove that logistic headache, it allows me to enjoy the sport for what it is, just like any other triathlete would enjoy the sport.
They are ideal problem solvers. If it's broken, they can fix it. If it's something that you're trying to do, they can find a way to get you to do it.
These people are like my tribe. They had the confidence in me before I had it. At the end of the day, Dare2Tri is just making the world a better place. One person at a time.
That's a really motivating video. I want to get out there and get active myself right now. So Carrie and Dan, do you guys want to take a little while to tell us a little about your backgrounds and how you got involved in Dare2Tri?
Sure, absolutely. Do you want to go first, Dan?
Sure. My name is Dan Tunn. I am one of the co-founders and program director for Dare2Tri. So work very closely with Carrie and our team. And yeah, I sort of fell into adaptive sports. It's kind of a strange journey. I was a middle school math teacher for quite a few years, and I was coaching able-bodied sports during that, and was exposed to adaptive sports and absolutely fell in love with it. And sports has always been a big part of my life. And yeah, just sort of took the dive and jumped into adaptive sports about 10 years ago, and met Carrie along the way. And yeah, Dare2Tri was kind of formed just with through our friendship and love of the sport. So pass it along to Carrie. Maybe she could tell a little bit about the start.
Sure, yeah. So I have been involved in adaptive sports my whole career. It was something I wanted to do since I was young, wanted to work with people with disabilities and get them involved in sports. And I had worked for other nonprofit organizations that did a variety of sports for people with disabilities. And I myself was a triathlete and marathon runner, and had friends with disabilities and would be able to go out and do a 5K race in our community with them. And that was something that I really found so inclusive about the sport of triathlon and swim, bike, run, was that one person with a disability could go out in their community with their family and their friends and compete or recreate alongside their able-bodied peers, as opposed to some of the more popular adaptive sports, wheelchair basketball or sled hockey, where you need 9 other people in wheelchairs to participate. And so myself, Dan Tunn, and Melissa Stockwell, who's probably the most well-known of our organization. Melissa was the first woman to lose a limb in conflict in Iraq back in 2004. Melissa went on to swim in the Beijing Paralympics and then switched over to triathlon and was the bronze medalist in the USA sweep in Rio, where paratriathlon debuted. And the three of us sort of came together and thought, we love doing triathlons and marathons and running and biking events. And obviously Dan and I were in adaptive sports. Melissa was a person with a disability, also working as a prosthetist at the time. And so the three of us brought our collective passion together and 10 years ago launched the organization with pretty modest goals for ourselves. And 10 years later, we've served this year alone in 2020 over 800 individuals across the country, kids, adults, and injured service members, by helping to keep them connected, active, and engaged. And we're serving individuals from they just want to live healthy, active lives and do a fitness class once a week, all the way up to those competing on the national, international, and Paralympic stages.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So, for those out there that don't know about triathlons, are there certain disabilities or challenges that can't participate? Can you guys modify equipment for everyone, or how does that work?
Yeah, we when we're introduced to these individuals, it's a little bit of a puzzle, a little bit of problem solving. Everyone's disability is a little bit different, and whether it's their range of motion or their function can be a little bit different. And yeah, that's where we come in. I mean, we have all different types of adaptive equipment. Some individuals might have their own piece of equipment, but if they don't, we've got plenty to lend and work with them to get fitted for a specific adaptive piece. And yeah, sometimes we might gather different resources. We work with prosthetists to see what the best fit and sort of adaptation might be for these individuals. But yeah, we do everything we can to get people up and moving and obviously safe on these pieces of equipment. So.
Is there a particular population that you guys serve? I mean, do you guys do children all the way through folks that are a little bit older? Do you guys do certain military programs? What kind of populations do you guys serve?
Yeah, so Dare2Tri operates under the more of the Paralympic umbrella of sports. So we're serving those with physical disabilities, visual impairments, and that does include post-traumatic stress. We've had kids as young as 5 and 6 years old. We've had individuals upwards of in their 80s that are, we have a woman who was tandem biking with us who was visually impaired in her 80s. So as far as age, we run the gamut, kids, adults, injured service members, and veterans. And really just, it doesn't matter what level of competitiveness somebody has. Like, we've got folks that have no desire to be competitive or ever do a race of any sort of any kind. They just want to be active. Maybe they want to get back to biking so they can bike with their family, or they haven't swam since they've lost their vision and they'd like to be able to get back in the pool and swim just for health and physical activity. And so there's a pretty wide continuum of those that we are serving. In particular, in the injured service members and veterans category, there's no minimum disability rating that somebody needs to have. They can still be active duty. They can be, med boarding out. They can be retired or a veteran. And really anybody that has some sort of physical limitation, post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, amputations, limited range of motion from various surgeries, things like that, paraplegics, quadriplegics, those with visual impairments. So really, we do run the gamut, and we do try to treat each person as an individual, meet them where they're at. We've had folks that have not been physically active at all since their injury, or they may be a very avid cyclist but haven't done any running or swimming. And again, various goals from, I'd like to complete my first sprint race, I want to do an Ironman, I want to compete at the national championships, and everywhere in between.
Sounds very impressive. Can you tell us a little bit about any of the events that you support, or camps or clinics that you have organized up there?
Yeah, so we have we've got quite a few camps that take place during the summer. Many of them actually take place in June. So we have 3 adult camps, 3 large adult camps that take place over a weekend. And the first one that we going to kick off in June is our injured military camp, and that takes place in Hammond, Indiana. Starts on a Friday, ends on a Sunday, and it actually ends with a race, USA Triathlon certified race called Leon's Triathlon. So on the Friday and Saturday, we run sort of the clinics and sessions through all 3 disciplines: swim, bike, run, as well as like strength sessions and yoga sessions. And yeah, we just work with the individuals to kind of bring their skills up to speed, or just kind of work on maybe some certain goals or weaknesses that they might want to kind of develop along the way, and then yeah, prep them for the race that takes place on Sunday, which is a sprint distance race. So so that camp specifically, the one in Indiana, is specific to our injured military, but we also have 2 adult camps that take place in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. And our first one's a Dare2Tri race, so it's for adults, or maybe some of our older teens, and it's for individuals that are just interested in triathlon. They don't have to have any experience, but are looking to just kind of get exposed to the sport and learn the skills. And then we put our own race on that Sunday as well. And then the last one also takes place in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. It's Train to Race, and that's a camp for individuals that maybe have a little bit more experience, maybe 1 or 2 races under their belts already. Yeah, so we work with them just to kind of get those skills up again, and then there's the Pleasant Prairie race that takes place on Sunday. So there are 3 big camps, and then we also have kids camps and other clinics throughout the year as well.
And currently, right now, we're running programming 4 days a week virtually in this world that we're living in now. Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, Coach Dan and Coach Shauna run an inclusive strength workout. It's a 30-minute workout. It's completely free. There are adaptations for those that want to do it standing or those that want to do it sitting, all kinds of modifications. And it's a total body workout. And that runs continuously year round. And then on Monday and Friday mornings, we're running a virtual cycling program that takes place at 7 a.m. Central Time. And Monday is more of a structured workout ride. Friday is more of a coffee ride, a social ride. People can meet up and chit chat. But we do use Zoom for that. We also are using Zwift, but we have other participants that maybe aren't on Zwift and they're just on their own basic indoor bike trainer and can join in, and the coaches are coaching them through that using rate of perceived effort and things like that. So those are some programs that we currently have going on that are free, that are open to the public. People can just register for those on our website, and you get the Zoom link. And for the camps, those registrations will come out early 2021. And there is some costs associated with those camps, but we do provide scholarships for those that need it in partial or full, because our whole goal is to remove barriers, including financial barriers. And so we want to help individuals get to the camps.
Right. That sounds amazing. So a couple questions about the camps. So does everyone need their own equipment in order to come to participate in your guys' camps?
They do not. We encourage individuals, if they have their own equipment, to bring them. I know sometimes it might be difficult to travel with equipment. But of course, if there's something that they're used to, we want them to be comfortable on something that might be already fitted for them. But if you don't have equipment, that's totally fine. We have a pretty large inventory of adaptive equipment, everything from hand cycles, racing chairs, to upright bikes and tandems. And so yeah, that's just something that they would note during registration. We ask for certain things like height and weight and things like that, so we can kind of figure out what equipment will work for them to get started on. And then usually in our first one of the first few sessions of the camp, we'll work on getting them fitted properly on that equipment. So yeah, we do a pretty good job of sourcing equipment that individuals might not have.
Sounds awesome. So really all you need is a little bit of curiosity and motivation to get there, and then you guys can take care of the rest. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do our warriors get involved? I mean, do they just go to your website or your Facebook page? How do they contact you guys to get active?
Yeah, so our website is just Dare, D-A-R-E, the number 2, T-R-I.org. A lot of information is there on our website. Our programs are there. You can register, like I said, for the strength sessions, the cycling sessions. There's some general information now about our camps. Registration's not open for those, but you can just, on the very bottom of the website, add yourself to our email list, so that as we do send out emails about new programs, upcoming programs, opening of registration for different camps, folks will get those emails and be aware of what we have coming up. But my email is just Keri, K-E-R-I, @Dare2Tri.org. Dan's is Dan @Dare2Tri.org, and they can reach out to us with any questions. We know sometimes people are a little hesitant to jump right in and join a program. They might want to talk to somebody first. We are happy to answer any questions, but we do have an Instagram handle and Twitter and Facebook page as well, if people have those preferred methods, and we do try to share information that way as well.
Absolutely. That sounds awesome. So I know we've covered a lot about your organization today. Is there anything that we may have missed that you guys feel important to get out to our audience?
Yeah, I just want to touch on, we are a very physically active organization, and we understand that physical health is important, but we understand that mental health and mental well-being is equally, if not more important. I'd like to say that it is more important, and that's something that we've I think taken a bigger step to kind of educating and exposing our participants through, even during this virtual time when things can be a little stressful. But I think all of our camps have some sort of mental health or just something to help, whether it's just relaxing or calming, like a yoga session or a breath work, meditation, things like that, to really focus on those those mental health pieces as well. I know we all kind of we all might struggle with that in some way, and we want to make sure that people are healthy in that respect too. So
it's a great point, Dan. And I'll just follow that up with, oftentimes somebody may hear the word triathlon and they're immediately like, oh, that's not for me. Maybe they're familiar with Ironmans, and that's what their association with the word triathlon is. And so the one thing I would say is, don't be put off by that. We love to get people active and involved and engaged at whatever level their comfort is and their interests. We can meet them with their goals, and there is no commitment to compete in any type of race, any type of competition by joining us. We do have folks that just cycle with us or just swim with us, people that just participate in our strength sessions. And so I think I would say, we'll certainly try to expose people to more and push them within their comfort levels, but also meet them where they're at and get people involved. And it's a great community of people. We often talk about the Dare2Tri family, and we really do feel that way. People are supportive of each other. There's a lot of sort of organic mentoring that goes on, like, hey, tell me about why you use that type of setup on your bike, or, I've been having the same issues with my hands, how are you adapting to that? So I think that, the sharing of knowledge is also really valuable.
Absolutely. So Carrie, I want to thank you, and Dan, I want to thank you for coming in today and sharing your time with us. Thanks to Dare2Tri for all the great things you guys have been doing over the last 10 years. If anyone wants to get more information, get in contact with us. Once again, it is AFW2 Community Programs Facebook page. We also have a AFW2 Warrior and Family Social Connections group on Facebook, and that was set up so that you guys can reach out and grab a wingman and say, hey, I'm gonna get involved with Dare2Tri. Let's start riding our bikes together. Let's go to this camp together. So it's all about connecting you guys and building that tribe wherever you are, and connecting with great organizations like Dare2Tri and get involved, get the training you need, figure out the equipment you need, and get out there and get healthy and get engaged. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
thank you.
Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this Zoom with Carrie and Dan at Dare2Tri. I just want to tell you guys, Happy New Year. We're finally out of 2020. So new year and new you, right? So get out there and get active and get engaged. If you guys need us, we're always here for you.